Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast, and now here's the man who's convinced that love is dead, it's dead, or is it going stronger than ever? Rob Cesternino is here, and I'm ready to talk about Big Brother 17 with you guys here tonight with our big brother RHAP up here following our eviction number 6. The breakup of Clelly is real. It has happened, at least in terms of Big Brother. Who knows if the two of them will soon live together in real life, as prophesized by Shelley in our eviction, and it was a heartbreaking night on Big Brother. And so here with us tonight, pinch hitting for Ian Terry. He is the Ben Zobrist of Rob Has a Podcast. You can play him anywhere. Here is our good friend Jordan Parhar. Jordan, how are you?
I'm excellent, Rob. Thank you for having me. And I know Ian couldn't make it tonight, but I wouldn't call that giving up. He just was there to try and help me live out my dream, and that's why I'm here tonight.
Yeah, Ian had asked, please, can you just not have me and have Jordan tonight? Now, Ian is heading down to Orlando, I believe, for the Hearts of Reality. Lots of reality stars are going to be down there this weekend for that, and I wish I had a good Snapchat to be following all weekend long of what's going on there. Can't wait to hear all of these stories from Hearts of Reality, but we've got a lot to do here tonight because our friend to join us covering the live feeds is the great Brent Walgott. Brent, how are you?
Rob, I'm great. I just wanted to ask you if we could start a RHAP petition to get Clay's picture off the memory wall and put up Jace's picture again, because Jace didn't quit the game.
All right, well, that's what we'll talk about here tonight. Right. Was it a quit heard around the world, heard around the Big Brother house between Clay and Shelley? How did we end up with a unanimous eviction for Clay as well? And everything else about Big Brother 17 as the pre-jury phase is over, and we will put to the test whether or not a jury person or a pre-jury person can be dateable when Clay and Shelley are both outside of the house. Jordan, were you sweating there for a little bit in Big Brother Canada, whether you're going to be a dateable person or not?
Yeah, I was really sweating. Well, actually, to be honest with you, I wasn't, because I got blindsided and thought I'd be safe.
Oh.
And then immediately after, I thought, oh, crap, I'm not dateable. But then Arissa Cox said that I made the jury and I was okay. So it was fine.
Good. So it all worked out. All right. So we're here tonight. We've got our exit interview coming up with Clay in the morning. Lots of questions for Clay that I will be coming up with overnight. That's going to be all part of the show. And then we'll also bring you a report of what happened overnight on the Big Brother feeds as well. That's all going to be in our Friday podcast. But tonight we are live here right now on robhasawebsite.com. Plus, we're going to be taking your tweets as well. Hashtag RHAP. And I guess let's start with a question that occurred to me as I was watching this all go down, where we had the first time that I can recall, and Jordan, you are the historian of the group here tonight. Maybe you could refresh our memory. Has anybody ever said, please don't keep me, please vote me out of the house, Jordan?
The only one I can really recall was Dr. Will Kirby in Big Brother All-Stars, but that,
right.
that was a ploy to stay in the game. So, no, I don't think have we ever really seen this. When, I mean, I guess, did Brendan not use the veto on Rachel once in Big Brother 12 or 13, if I'm remembering correctly? Maybe not. And then Dick and Danielle, I think there was a situation in which Dick used the veto on Danielle. So, but there was never a point in which any of these players was sitting next to another person and said, no, please vote me out, keep this person here. It's their dream. It is their goal to win this game. I do not want to win $500,000. So, yes, a very interesting predicament Clay put himself in. And, yeah, I guess it really is kind of on he's making some history tonight here on Big Brother 17. So, very interesting. I thought initially it was a ploy. It wasn't. And sure enough, he went home by a unanimous decision.
Yeah, it really is, and it's so wacky, the whole thing between Clay and Shelley, where it started off, okay, it was just this sort of a showmance. They only kissed for the first time this week, but now it's like this Romeo and Juliet story, Brent. I mean, how deep is this connection between Clay and Shelley? Are they soulmates?
Everything's magnified when you're in the Big Brother house. I think maybe even more magnified than when you're on other reality shows, just because you're stuck in a house with these people and it's such close quarters. I mean, Jordan would be able to tell you better than I, but I just think
look at Jordan and Cindy with an S.
Yeah, well, weird things happen in the Big Brother house. I still don't understand him giving up his game for $500,000, but I will say this. I don't know if it's been said on your show before, but for those of you who don't know, Clay was recruited. Big surprise, I know, but seriously, he was recruited at a Lakers game, and the person who was at the Lakers game said, "You want to be on Big Brother?" And he thought that they were talking about the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America. So I'm serious. I'm not kidding. He said this on the feed, so that tells you he's not a super fan. This was not his live stream. Frankly, I'm glad Shelly stayed.
He is a super fan. He said he was.
That's a lie, Rob. That's a lie.
Brent.
Lies, and damn lies.
He watched 8 seasons in 3 months.
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose.
Wait, hold on. So he was at a Lakers game, and somebody said, "Hey, do you want to be on Big Brother?" And he said yes, thinking it was like volunteering to help underprivileged kids.
Yes, exactly.
And then when they told him no, it's not helping underprivileged kids. It's a TV show where we're going to lock you in a house for 90 days. And he was like, "Oh, that's okay too."
Basically, yeah, I think he was just up for what? He's 23 years old, he's just out of college. I forget if he's in grad school or now, whatever he's doing right now. And I think he's just at a crossroads in his life, and he's kind of up for anything. I'm sorry I didn't meet him.
How up for anything?
Right?
So with Clay
Crazy.
now, that Shelly talked about this in terms of this relationship will continue romantically outside of the house. Am I being a skeptic, Brent? Am I being too hard on the prospects of this relationship continuing onwards?
No, I think you're being a realist. It sounded very Gina Marie when she's like, "This relationship will continue on outside the house." I'm like, no. I really, that's a long time, especially when you're 23 years old, when you're gorgeous as Clay is, and you're in a world where people know who you are. I just don't see any way that he's going to be able to just do nothing romantically for a month and a half.
Yeah, I mean, just talking about, I can't wait for our first date. I mean, it sounded exactly like Gina Marie and Nick Uhas. It really did.
Exactly. I
really
think
seemed exactly.
I was a little disappointed that Julie didn't call him more out on his bullshit, actually, because it really did sound terrible. It was a quit, plain and simple. Seriously.
Now, hold on. Did Clay leave with the cowboy hat? Will Shelly walk around all summer like Gina Marie with the blue hat?
I didn't see the cowboy hat on him, but it probably is there. Who knows? We can only hope.
Will Shelly know the recipe for chicken parm, and will she prepare any chicken parm for anybody the rest of the summer, Jordan?
You ain't getting no chicken parm for any of those people. all of you.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
No, I don't think any chicken parm for any of those people. You saw it tonight, even when Julie said, "Okay, congrats everybody, you are all in the jury," and everyone's like, "Yeah, good job, guys," and then Shelly's just like, nothing, like no reaction. She's not happy, so she's out. She's out with a vengeance. It's going to be interesting.
She is not happy, and you gotta think that 23-year-old Clay coming off of this TV show, you would think that the world, that there will be more Megs out there in the world, right? You would imagine, Brent?
There'll be more Megs, and there'll be more Bobs, and there'll be more Shellys.
Battle of the Block is gone, Brent.
I'm serious.
No more Battle of the Block.
Yeah, no more Battle of the Block. The sequin shirt is gone, Rob. No, I do think that he's. Look, I know what I was like when I was 23. I can only imagine being as gorgeous as he is, being as well known as he is in the reality TV community and those people who watch Big Brother in general, and to live that kind of a life when you're 23. I mean, I couldn't. I would submit to all temptations known to mankind, and I have to believe he's no different.
Yeah, Jordan, you can relate to being a young stud coming off of one of these shows. Is there as much temptation out there as we're making it out to be?
Well, I think calling me a young stud is like calling Matt Hoffman like a young stud when talking about comparing him to Hayden Moss. I mean, it doesn't really work like that. So, yeah, I guess I'm a younger guy that's come off of Big Brother. Yes. But I'm no Clay Honeycutt. This dude is chiseled. He's super attractive, obviously. But at the same time, though, I mean, I think it would probably be hard to remain single and monogamous in a relationship to begin with before going on Big Brother if you looked like that. I mean, he played Texas A&M football. I'm sure all the ladies are all over him all the time. So, yeah, it's going to be incredibly tough for Clay. If he can make it, then he's a stronger man than probably most people that I know. But, yeah, it's going to be really, really hard for him to focus on Shelly and just sit there for 2 months and not do anything.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Look, love will find a way. I didn't think Brendan and Rachel were going to last. Look at them now. So, I am always a little bit skeptical with these reality TV romances because I've seen so many come and go by the wayside. I'd say the average on these things are probably maybe like 1 out of 15 or so make it. Maybe that's a little out there, but you never know. But just between that and the age difference, it seems like that is going to be just as big of a factor. They don't live in the same city. They're 10 years apart. He's out of the house now for 7-8 weeks. She's going to be in it. So it just seems like, and then to give up your game, because if he wanted to stay in the house, would he have stayed in the house this week, Brent?
That's unclear. I really can't explain that one. I want to say that the answer is no, he probably wouldn't have, but the vote would have been a lot closer. I think it could have even been 5-4. Something happened earlier on the feeds today which made it unanimous, which we can get into later if you want. But I don't think that he was staying no matter what. But he had a chance if he wanted it, but he didn't want it.
Yeah. Up until what time today was the vote in flux?
Up until about 1 o'clock today. I mean, they were talking about it earlier in the morning that, Austin was kind of trying to break it to James. He didn't want to blindside James in case somebody on James's team won the head of household, who knows who that's going to be. But about 2 o'clock, the S hit the fan, and a lot of things happened that I don't know if you want to get into now because it may affect next week, but
yeah, it'll probably be in the Sunday night show. So let's at least wait until we get to the spoilers later on in the show. So for Shelly going forward, let's just talk about how damaged that ship could be right now for Shelly. Jordan, do you see a potential Shelly rebound in the house, or do you think that this week was too much of a toll on her and exposed her too much?
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest week for Shelly, of course. I mean, you never want to lose your solid showman's partner that you had in Clay. She's lost her meat shield, per se, if you want to call it that. But at the same time, I think that now the Sixth Sense is in a position where they want to move forward together as a unit. There's a group of 5, so I think that is good for Shelly. I think it's going to help her out, and I think that the fact that Clay is gone, people aren't going to be as threatened by her, despite the fact that she's won 2 heads of household already, which isn't really something you necessarily want to have on your resume at this point in the game. It's kind of early still. But I do think, yeah, she has the people around her, and I think that with this HOH competition that we saw, it's this endurance competition. Likely one of the big guys is going to win. Austin is huge. Most likely scenario I'm predicting is he walks away as head of household. If that happens, if that's the case, Shelly's in a really good spot for this week, and I think that she's going to be in a good spot moving forward.
Well, talk to me about that. In terms of past people that have won this contest, we know that we've seen people who are bigger guys do well in this, but also I feel like we've seen people that are smaller people do well. Like Jeremy from Big Brother 15 jumps to mind, where he was somebody that won this contest. But I feel like people that have low center of gravity have also won it. Is there a certain type that we should be looking at tonight, Jordan, that people that do well in this contest?
Well, I think, I'm trying to remember. I was trying to think about the people who have won. Jeremy came to mind. I think Hayden Moss won this one as well, if I'm remembering correctly. Jeff Schroeder did well in this one too. Again, I'm not 100% with who specifically won this competition, but from what I can recall, the taller, I mean, just if you think about it, if you're really tall, you've got long limbs, this is a very long competition. Typically, somebody who's larger is most likely, or taller per se, is more likely going to win, especially if you look at the house right now. Is anybody even close to Austin's height? I don't think anybody's even really close to that. I believe Shane won this one in Big Brother 14 as well. So yeah, I think that is really the person you want to look for. I think Clay would have done well in this comp. He's not in the house anymore, so I mean, yeah, is Johnny Mac that tall? He doesn't really look that tall to me. But it's hard to tell sometimes when you're comparing these people. You look at I'm trying to think of an example. Like Austin to James is clearly like that's the spectrum we're looking at here. I don't think anybody's more people are closer to James than they are to Austin in this scenario.
Yeah, Brent, do you have any insight on this? I don't have a good resource to be able to look at this. Like on the Survivor Wikia, I'm able to see by competition who are the people that have won it before in the past.
I can't help you with that, Rob. I do know that it does seem to favor people who have a little bit more strength in their legs, but I also wouldn't discount balance and general movement ability. I going into tonight, I thought that Austin was a shoo-in to win, and I even tweeted that out, actually. But who knows? I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay. All right. Well, Brent, talk to me about your take on Shelly moving forward. Do you feel like she could potentially turn her game around now without Clay in the house?
Yes, I do. I think that, just generally speaking, without getting into anything too specific, that Vanessa has let her emotions get the best of her. And I think in her efforts to make sure that Shelly stayed in the house this week and keep a big target in front of her, that she has, by doing that, made herself a target. So depending on who wins HOH this week, I think Vanessa could be in trouble. And also, as Alex mentioned on the show last night, Becky and by extension Johnny Mac are also aware of Vanessa's double dealings in the house. And I just think that Vanessa causes she stirs the pot for no reason, and that has put her game in jeopardy in my eyes.
Yeah. Jordan, I'd love to get your take on Vanessa. I feel like that she is the person that we've had the most varied opinions on inside and outside of the house, all over Twitter. I feel like that there are many people who feel like Vanessa is playing a really great game this season, and other people have said that she is not playing that great of a game. Last night, Sophie was talking about how she feels like Vanessa is playing a very strategic game. Today I was reading on Twitter that people like June and Evil Dick were saying that they would have no problem with her game if she was owning her actions as a woman, and she is really just sort of, hiding behind different things that she ends up saying, different reasons for what she's doing. So Jordan, what's been your take on Vanessa?
Yeah, I think Vanessa's playing a really solid game. I think she's doing an excellent job in a lot of different categories. But like Brent said, I think some of the things she's doing are a little bit unnecessary. I mean, these staging, trying to fake fights all the time and this kind of stuff. And then she's incredibly emotional. And I just think that as a fan watching it too, just seeing some of the scenes from tonight and Wednesday when Vanessa gets mad when Clay and Shelly say something, or I think it was on the Wednesday episode when they're talking about Jason going home and Vanessa was trying to argue with them saying that, oh, that was our decision, that was what we all wanted to do, and Clay and Shelly are like, no, like you're the one who did that, and Vanessa's like getting all upset about that, and it's sloppy. I just don't like to see that from her. And yeah, I agree. I think it's sort of, the way I look at it is, I remember Amanda Zuckerman, Big Brother 15, she was playing this villainous type of game, but she would get really emotional sometimes and get upset, and she wouldn't always own everything, when in reality all of us at home are thinking, Amanda, own your actions, you're a villain, we love it, keep doing this. And Vanessa, I feel like I really want to see that from her too. We're just not really getting that from her. So I think she's probably playing the best game of the people in the house right now, but I don't necessarily think that says a lot necessarily about her game. Because, I mean, if we look last year, we say Derek's playing the best game. I don't think Vanessa's really anywhere close to a Derek Levasseur at this point. I mean, who knows? Maybe she can turn some things around going forward. But for now, yeah, there's some things that I don't really love about her game.
Yeah, it's really just very confusing to me, and the thing I just can't seem to reconcile with Vanessa is the things that she's doing, the manipulation that she's doing to other people. Is she doing that intentionally? Because if she is, I would love to see her say, like, boy, I really told those guys something, and I don't really believe it, because it seems to me, or maybe she's just such a good actress that she is selling me in the diary room. It seems to me often that she really is offended about the things where she's turning it around and getting upset with other people, and it really seems like she's buying whatever she's selling herself, as opposed to saying somebody like a Dr. Will, and obviously what I'm saying to them isn't true, or somebody like that, and saying that she knows what she's doing is a lie, and she knows what she's doing is a manipulation, as opposed to hiding behind some sort of I'm so hurt, and this is how could they have done this to me? Brent, do you have any sense about that?
Well, I follow poker, and I followed Vanessa Russo way before she ever came onto the Big Brother stage. And Vanessa was one of the few people in poker who really cared about her image. She was a GoDaddy girl for a long time. She really wanted to get her name out there. I think even one of the reasons why she came onto Big Brother, I don't really know if she was a fan before this, but she cares about her image. So I think she made a severe miscalculation in that she goes into the diary room thinking that if she, boohoos and pardon me, but has a bit of victimization about her, that we're going to empathize with her more. But that's not what we want to see. We want to see her own her game. We want to see, especially a strong female, we want to see a female own her shit. I'm sorry, Rob. And just go in the diary room and tell us exactly what she's doing to these people, but instead it comes off like a terrible mix of paranoia and victimization rolled up in a bunch of manipulation and delusion that I really think she does believe. I really don't think that she's playing this off to the other house guests. I really do believe that when she goes out and cries to Clay and Shelley like in the Wednesday episode, I think she believes the stuff that she's trying to sell to these people.
Yeah, I just go back to that first night when we turned on the live feeds and she was crying about how in this Big Brother house she just can't get over how people are being horrible to each other, and it was making her cry that people were being mean to Steve in the Big Brother house. And I just go back to, was it all an act from that point on, or is she really that sensitive and emotional about all of this? And Jordan, is that a liability in the Big Brother house to be that sensitive?
Oh, 100% it's a liability to be that sensitive. At least in my book it is, because if you're that sensitive, you're going to be emotional, and when you get emotional in there, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to miscalculate things, make errors, and that's just not good for your game. You want to go in there and be as unemotional as you possibly can be, and as somebody who went in there and did some emotional things, it's hard. It's one thing for me to say. It's super tough to do that, but yeah, if she was less emotional, I think Vanessa would be doing a much better job. And yeah, I agree 100% with what Brent was saying. I think that it's almost as if she's believing her own lies at this point, which it's just incredibly weird. Like, I don't get it. And it's one of these things, I don't know if we're ever going to really know the true answer to this, because after the season, people are probably going to interview Vanessa and ask her some things, and in hindsight, she might say different things and say, "Oh well, no, I was actually doing this, or I was doing this." I have no idea. It's one of those things we just might not know. But yeah, I don't get it. It's just very, very strange.
And just to bring it full circle to Derek, who we saw on tonight's episode, having an awesome barbecue with Cody, Hitman firing on all cylinders at the barbecue, and so. With Derek, I felt like there were times when Derek was not necessarily genuine in the diary room, talking about like, oh, I'd love to keep Donnie around if I could. Donnie, what a great, really want to get, Team America, I'm going to make that happen for you guys. But you felt like that Derek is not necessarily saying something, but he doesn't really mean it. Whereas Vanessa, she either is much more convincing that she means it. It just seems like that's sort of a disconnect where it's like Derek is like, okay, well, I don't really want to say exactly what I'm thinking about this because I don't want people to dislike me about this, which you kind of understand. But it really feels like with Vanessa, she's saying things and she believes them.
Right. I think that Derek, when he went in the diary room, he was like a robot when he went in there and said the things that he needed to say. He sounded like a politician, okay?
Yes, I think that's probably a politician more than robot. Yeah. I think that's okay. Appropriately tonight.
When Vanessa goes in the diary room, she and Johnny Mac even said it on the feeds today. Here comes the crying. It's become a ritual with Vanessa that she's crying all the time when she feels threatened or doesn't get her way or doesn't like something that somebody said about her. And that's a problem for her. Even Clay and Shelley were talking about the fact that Vanessa's emotionality is a long-term problem for Shelley if she wants to work with her going forward.
Okay.
And if I can just say one thing about the emotionality, yeah, I guess I said earlier it's 100% a liability. It can help you in some senses because it can make other people realize that, okay, this person can show that they're vulnerable to other people, and that might make people feel that you're more trustworthy. But in Vanessa's case, she's doing it so much, and like Brent just said, Johnny Mac saying, here comes the crying. When you hear that, I mean, that's just not good. Not good.
By the way, I just want to say really quickly to everybody out there, my continual ranting about Vanessa in no way impacts my enjoyability of the feeds. Last year, watching the feeds for the first time in my life, the feeds were a little bit boring. The show itself was a little bit boring. And the reason I think, my opinion, was because some of the characters on there you didn't really care for. You know, I kind of hated Frankie. I kind of hated Christine. Didn't really care for him. This year, I love to hate Vanessa. There's a big difference between hating someone and not really liking them and loving to hate someone. I love to hate Vanessa. I love to hate Shelly, but that's part of the fun of Big Brother. And I love the fact that she has these emotional outbursts from a fan point of view, but from a gamer point of view, obviously it's a liability. I just want to make that clear.
Okay, so Shelly ends up staying in the house. I would love to hear from both of you guys. Who made the biggest mistake this week by keeping Shelly around? Jordan, in your mind, who does Shelly staying in the house, who does that hurt the most?
Wow, that's a really good question. Shelly staying in the house, I guess, I don't know, I guess James, Jackie, those guys, because I feel like Shelly is a stronger player than Clay, and I think that Clay would be more likely to jump to that side of the house along with Meg, and potentially the Clegg thing could have happened, who knows. So I think Shelly staying is not very good for that side because clearly she doesn't seem to be open to working with those guys. She's more loyal to the Sixth Sense at this point.
Okay, and Brent, in your mind, who screwed up the most tonight by making sure that they did not send Shelly out of the house?
I think Vanessa and her machinations this week in order to get Shelly to stay in the house and to get Clay evicted and to make herself come off looking scot-free in the whole thing really made a target out of herself because she interfered so much with what James, the current head of household, wanted. And James, initially at the beginning of the week, much to his detriment, in the beginning he said, I'll let the house decide who we're going to evict, Clay or Shelly. But then later on, he started saying, I really want you guys to evict Shelly. And this was before the renom ceremony. And they all said, okay, James, we'll do what you want. But then after the ceremony was over, Vanessa, and it got back to James, and it got back to Jackie and Meg, and Becky and Johnny Mac, that she was really strong-arming people into voting to keep Shelly. And I like I said before, I really think that made her a bigger target because she wasn't behind the scenes anymore. She was out in front, and that's a problem for her game.
Okay, let's fire up some questions here, and then we'll talk about some of the stuff from the live feeds from today. Let's start with R. Sal, who says he's the 604 Macho Man, Jordan.
Oh, 604 proper.
Where did Vanessa's theory of Johnny Mac and Clay being lovers or related come from?
Well, that's live feed stuff.
Yeah,
talk about that.
That's just was that based on just coming up with reasons to throw Clay under the bus this week, Brent?
Not really. I mean, that emanated from a whole nother fight that happened in the Big Brother house today. But it's going to impact next week, so I'll talk about it later. Yeah.
All right. So then Johnny D. Silvera wants to know, Ian, we'll go Jordan, in 17 seasons of Big Brother, is this the first time that Julie Chen wore glasses?
That is the first time I've ever seen Julie Chen wear glasses. So
right?
I'm not Ian Terry, but pretty sure that's the first time.
Okay. Will Heiser's The Big Brother Saga is going to be must-see TV this week. See the new look on Julie Chen. What do you think? Thumbs up or thumbs down on the glasses, Brent?
Thumbs up. I give thumbs up. I love the mustard dress too.
Jordan, thumbs up. Will Arissa Cox ever wear glasses?
Ooh, I don't know. Arissa's a beautiful woman as is. I guess she could probably pull it off though if she really wanted to.
Yeah.
Should I wear glasses to host the show once in a while?
No, then I couldn't tell you and Ian apart.
Well, actually, Ian doesn't wear glasses on the show when he comes on. Yeah. I don't wear glasses on the show when I come on. So yeah, Rob, why don't you wear glasses instead of one of us?
Okay, let's make it happen. I'll talk to Cochran, see if he can put me in touch with his glasses guy. Let's go to our next Pookie from the O said, do you think that this blowout with Vanessa seriously hurts Johnny Mac or the good old... We'll talk about Vanessa and her blowouts later on in this hour.
The questions are about today.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of that. People are waiting for us to talk about stuff. Okay. Let's see if we have any. If we have any other questions, let's go to one, and then otherwise we will just we will switch into talking about the live feeds. Okay. Coming up as well, we've got our exit interview on Friday morning with Clay. Very excited to talk with him. I have a lot of questions to run past him, and then we will update the live feeds as well. Before we jump into the live feed segment, let's just take a quick drive in our Mazda, because if driving matters to you, you love to drive with the windows down. I'm actually going to go for a drive right now with the wind blowing through. I need a fan for the wind blowing through my hair and the smell of pine trees and fresh asphalt. Looking forward to this nice drive when it's just me on the road listening to a podcast. Jordan, you driving too?
Oh, yeah, I'm always driving, Rob.
Well, no distractions. Hold on. Handling every curve of the road, every nuance, asking ourselves if driving matters to you, because if it does, we build cars just for you, because to us, driving matters. Mazda, that's right. Okay, let's go ahead and hit our soundboard for the live feeds.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
a spoiler.
Warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
spoiler
against this country has been detected and that protective action should be taken.
Yes! Okay, spoilers. Ready to go,
Yeah.
Brent? Okay.
Yes, ready
First
to go.
off, okay, talk to us about this big blow up in the house today.
All right, it's a little convoluted, so I'm going to do my best to explain it, and if at any point you want to stop me, please do so, okay? So it all started when Vanessa walked into the hammock room with James, and she cornered him and said, have you been talking about me? I want to know if you have a problem with me. Keep in mind, I just want to preface this whole thing by saying that the house, especially Vanessa, was convinced that today was going to be a double eviction. So she was guarding against that at all costs. She was absolutely paranoid. It's going to be a double eviction, okay? I can't imagine what she's going to be like this week. So she said, do you have a problem with me? And James said, of course not. And she said, well, I just heard that you said something that I am going after Johnny Mac and that I'm in Shelley's head. And James said, no, I didn't say that at all. And she said, well, I heard you did. And James was like, I swear on my little girl, I didn't say that. So then Vanessa changes it to, well, actually, I heard it from Clay. So she's already backtracking, okay, on what she's trying to tell James. And so James says, well, let's go get Johnny Mac, because Johnny Mac was the one who apparently heard about this too. And so they go get Johnny Mac, and I'm not going to get into the whole thing because it's really going to get into the weeds. But it got to the point where James and Clay nearly got into a fist fight. Okay, because James was saying, stop talking about me, Clay, and Clay called him a coward, and they got into about 1 inch away from each other's face, and Big Brother quickly went to fish. And then when they came back, they were trying to apologize to each other. And Vanessa started crying and boohooing about the fact that, who said this? And Johnny Mac finally is in the game because somehow he got dragged into all this because he's trying to Clay's trying to cover for him, but it was actually Johnny Mac that said something about Vanessa going after him because he got it from Becky. So I hope you guys can follow that, but
no, I can't.
Okay.
it started
sorry.
It's
so convoluted about he said, she said. I'm sorry.
It started off making it sound like it was a fake thing that Vanessa was just trying to go James into, but it was actually a real thing that she was acting on?
Yes, it was okay. 100%. This was real. The whole blowout, the fight with Vanessa, the fight with Clay, the fight with James.
Is it real? Is this real?
Yes, it was totally real. It was not a fake fight. I know that earlier she was talking about a fake fight between Austin and Shelley, but that never went through. Becky has been sort of incepting some ideas into Johnny Mac, and Johnny Mac said this to Clay. Clay, in his delusions, assumed that it came from James, but it didn't come from James. It came from Johnny Mac. It came from Becky. So Clay told Vanessa this, and that's what got the whole ball rolling down the hill. So then Vanessa was going after Clay, saying, I think Clay wants to stay. There was a point at which Vanessa was accusing Clay of campaigning behind Shelley's back. And frankly, there's so much stuff that happened today that I really can't sum it up for you except to say that Johnny Mac told Steve that he's going after Vanessa. And Vanessa is openly kind of against Johnny Mac at this point. So Johnny Mac's in the game, whether he wanted to be or not, and I don't really know where it's going to go from here.
Okay. Can we get an update, Brent, on how the beer, or what is it, Motor Oil this year?
Yes.
Motor Oil.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good at the moment because I'm thinking that Becky Becky is leading the competition. That's what the chatters are telling me. They're not giving us a full look. They didn't do this last time in last week's endurance competition. They wouldn't give us a look at all 14 people up on the thing. But from what I can tell, and the people in the chat room are telling me that Becky is the one who's going to town on this competition. Well, and if she gets HOH, I expect her to put Liz and somebody else on the block, maybe a Steve, and backdoor Vanessa. I think she's not going to take a swing at Vanessa unless she knows that it's really there for her.
Okay, Jordan, we talked about this with Sophie last night. What do you think is the optimal strategy for Becky? Is it to get out in front and get out from under the radar, or is it to keep doing what she's doing?
I think at this point, I mean, it's tough. I think that if she gets out in front, if she does what James did this past week, then she's putting her head at the top of the hit list for the Sixth Sense. But at the same time, if she just sits back and does nothing, she could easily get picked off. And even if she makes it, and she'll probably have a higher likelihood of going deeper into the game. But at the same time, if she goes deep into the game, she's not really going to have a resume to say, hey, look, I should win the game because I did A, B, and C. She hasn't really done anything. So I think that, yeah, if Becky does win this thing, she takes a shot at a Vanessa, somebody who potentially the entire house can get behind, then I don't know. It's a really, really tough spot that Becky is in right now. I think that the goal for that what James should have trying to do last week, at least what I believe, even if I don't know if he intentionally did it, was to essentially break the Sixth Sense alliance. I think the best move for Becky is to try, if she does win, to break that alliance up. And by getting rid of Vanessa, I think that she's kind of the glue that keeps all of them together, because if Vanessa goes, then Shelly could potentially move to the other side of the house. Austin and the twins are kind of isolated on their own as well. So I think that, yeah, maybe Becky winning HOH and going after Vanessa is her best play right now.
I agree, Rob. I want to quickly say that I think that the whole Becky playing the middle and kind of doing what she's doing, I think that train has left the station. I'm just telling you on this one, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, because Shelly knows that Becky was campaigning against her, and Becky was out in front on this. She wanted Shelly gone. She decided that she was willing to tell people, like, I'm voting to evict Shelly, and the reason I'm voting to evict Shelly is because she's better at the competitions that I'm good at. And she had a very valid reason for doing so. The problem was that she didn't have the votes behind her, and people know. So Shelly knows that Becky was campaigning against her, and she's on Shelly's list.
I don't understand how anybody from the James, and they really need alliance names, the James, Jackie.
It's After Dark. After Dark crew.
Yeah. So I don't know how anybody from the After Dark side of the house thinks that Vanessa is working with them, Brent.
Well, she's been pretty good about covering her tracks, but the thing is, they keep saying it and they just don't want to believe it. They keep saying, do you think that Audrey was right? Do you think that those 6 people are working together? And Meg is always the poo-pooer, like, I don't think so. I mean, like,
being a poopy head.
She's being poopy head.
They just are unwilling to believe what's really going on right in front of their face. I think Jackie probably has her finger on the pulse of the game. But, again, like June says on Twitter, if you don't get any power in the game, you can't do anything about it.
Okay. Boy, Jordan, can you believe that we've become such big Jackie fans out here?
No, I can't believe it. Jackie from The Amazing Race, Blind Date, is the person we're rooting for here? What? What's happening?
Well, she's finally given us what we want, what I think they cast her for, which is this, she's spicy, she's saucy, she's feisty, she's like Rachel in Big Brother 12. She's giving it for what for, she's not going to take any crap from these people.
And I said she had Rachel Riley upside a long time ago.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
And also, too, I believe, Rob, you were saying on the premiere pod, like one of the first podcasts we did at the start of the season, you were talking about Jackie and The Amazing Race and saying, okay, yeah, she's got some potential. She had some, gotten into some blow-ups on The Amazing Race, and she might be a power player in this game, and then she kind of really didn't do too much for the first little bit, but now she went to sleep for the first month or so, and she's starting to wake up a little bit, and she does seem to have, like Brent said, have her finger on the pulse and know what's going on, so we'll see. I think I'm liking what Jackie's doing right now.
Rob, I just thought of something, actually, if you don't mind me, just to say this really quickly. You asked me 2 weeks ago whether or not it's a good idea for Vanessa and her side of the house to essentially wake up the other side of the house and let them know that there are indeed two sides, because up until this point, the After Dark crew had essentially been sleeping. They had been doing nothing. They're thinking they're at summer camp or something like that. And by not putting up Austin and blindsiding everybody with Jason, which I think was a terrible move on their part, they should have at least prepared them for it, they showed them that there are groups in this house and you're not part of it. And that woke James up. That's why Clay and Shelly were put on the block this week. And if Becky wins this week or Jackie wins this week, that's why they're going to be put up again, because they woke them up, which was the worst thing that they could do.
Yeah, it was a huge mistake to put Jason up on the block. I think we can all say that now at this point. And
it was. Can you imagine if they put Austin on the block? Everybody would have went to sleep. They would have evicted Austin, and everybody went on good terms, and the Sixth Sense would have kept working quietly in the shadows. Now they're out in front, and there's two sides of the house. Worst case scenario.
Best case for us.
Best case for us.
Exactly. Best case for us. Yes.
And I love Jason, but I think that was the best thing that happened for this season ultimately. Yeah. Okay.
Good TV, baby.
We love good TV. Let's take another question from 604 Macho Man. Where did Vanessa's theory? Is this out of this also that Johnny Mac and Clay have some relationship?
Yes, because what was happening was Johnny Mac just does weird stuff in the house, and he started to he started to take the blame for it openly in front of Vanessa, and Clay was trying to take the blame for it as well. So Vanessa's like, well, why are you guys doing that? Who would do that? You guys must be cousins or you must be gay lovers. And June Song said on Twitter that only new lesbians can say to two obviously straight men, you must be gay lovers, because there was no hint of anything. It was just Vanessa just comes up with all these weird theories about people must be related and everybody and their mother must be America's player. And now apparently Gay and Johnny Mac are sleeping together. So it was just something weird that she came up with and was quickly dismissed.
How did Shelly react to that news?
I think she laughed at that. The funny part about the fight today, though, that I forgot, which I'm glad you said something about Shelly, is that when Vanessa was saying to Clay and Shelly, I heard Clay last night. He was talking with Johnny Mac, and he was secretly campaigning against you to stay. Shelly said, I kind of believe Vanessa in front of Clay. So obviously they've made up since then, but there was a little awkward moment there where Shelly was like, she kind of believed Vanessa's side of things and not Clay's side of things, and it got a little awkward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Let's go. It's Trouble in Paradise. R. Vandervest says, why does James always rat everyone out after any information he receives? Shouldn't he be keeping things to himself or using it to his advantage rather than informing? Brent, is James always revealing information people tell him?
Not always. I mean, he didn't reveal some of the information that he got this week from Clay and Shelly. I think that he's playing an okay game. I have to tell you that coming into this season, I was down on James. I thought he was another Donnie. I thought he was not going to give us much of anything at all. But, the first week he did that whole, I love blood, I wear it as war paint. I'm like, dude, you're really weird. This week he did it again. I love blood, I wear it as war paint. I'm like, yes, I love you. So,
so it's all in the context. Now you love him?
Right, yeah, exactly. And now that he's the underdog, I love him. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
and I make no bones about it.
He loves it. Everybody is loving James this week.
Yeah, because he gave us what we wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, he gave us what he wanted, but how about that quote tonight? What did he say? I didn't pull the clip when he was talking about how the worst thing in the house is a woman who is scornful. What was that quote? I was like,
basically he was trying to, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned is what he's trying to say. But
he was sort of like triangulating it, like, because if a man is in the house, and then you could reason with him, but you can't really reason with a woman who's mad.
Right, and all the women who were there were like, yeah, we understand what you mean.
Yeah, Jackie was like, yep, that's right. That's
right. Yeah,
like if that was Jeff that was in the house that still said that, Twitter would have gone nuts. But that's how high. Like if your approval rating in the house is high, if you're like one of the top people that people are like Johnny Mac could get away with that.
Oh yeah.
But if you are one of the people that already like if Austin said that, he'd be done on Twitter right now.
Oh yeah,
done.
It's so true. I mean, think about Big Brother 13, the whole Dumbledore gate with Big Jeff. I mean, no one cared about that because it was Big Jeff.
Yeah. Well, I think some people did.
Some people did, but you know what I mean? But it's like, people were like, oh, yeah, we love Jeff, and CBS where's this stuff?
Yeah, CBS didn't even address it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, so it depends. It depends on how popular you are. So pandering is good. Bliss44. Who else is annoyed that Meg doesn't even try to win comps, leaving her alliance high and dry? Is anybody annoyed about that?
Yes, she wasn't even trying tonight. She like barely made it down the ramp after people had gone by 3 times. It's pathetic. Next.
What do you want from Meg?
Yeah, like what's wrong with it? She's throwing the comps, no?
I don't know. I want good TV, and she's not adding much to it. So
She's throwing the comps. She's throwing herself at Clay. What do you?
She's the number for the underdogs, and that's the most I can give her at this point. Like, I like her, but only by extension of that I like James and Jackie.
What'd you think about Clay tonight? Julie Chen asked him a question. I was very surprised she went there. She said, "Okay, Clay, we got to know about the BB scandal. What was going on with you and Meg?" And then Clay really made Meg out to sound like she's some sort of a floozy.
Oh, floozy?
Yeah.
I'd say he made her out to be a slut. Like, I mean, the way he and then he quickly backtracked, which I thought was really cute. But no, yeah, I was really surprised. Like, they're really pushing that. They gave it the hashtag, and Julie asked a question about it. I'm really surprised they went with the BB Escandalo. Like, it wasn't that big a deal, I don't think. She was a little drunk, and that was it. And he didn't do anything.
As somebody who played in the house with people that were in showmances, moments like that happen all the time when people are drunk. So, and they don't make the edited broadcast of the show. So I didn't really get why that became such a big deal. And also to the Clay saying, "Oh, she's in a million showmances." Does Clay know the definition of what a showmance is?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the thing was, the Big Brother didn't really make it clear to the general viewers that Meg had been drinking because they just went right into the competition. They didn't tell everybody that they gave them some grog or wine or whatever the hell they were drinking out there. They just showed Meg cheering on the sidelines like a crazy woman, and then, the next scene you see her going into the bathroom talking with Clay. They never told you, hey, this woman has been drinking for the last hour while this competition's been going on.
First off, do not take the BB scandal away from me. Okay? It was
scandalo.
It was real and it happened.
All right.
It happened and you can't take it away from me. You will not remove the BB scandal from. We will continue. We have continuing coverage of the BB scandal. We're going to go 4 more hours tonight.
All right,
BB
I'm all for it.
Continuing coverage. We're going to bring in Andrea after this to talk about what goes on when Meg likes a guy.
Yeah, exactly. I can only
hope. Let's go to Coballer 1155. In this competition, could you put water in your mouth and carry it and maybe soak your shirt in it? Unless Big Brother had specifically told you not to do this, that would be brilliant.
I don't know. Yeah,
that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Although they don't really show it on the I guess I shouldn't talk about it, but I'm sure there's a point in which they talk about the rules in a more depth, and perhaps that's not one of the rules, or maybe just nobody has tried that. But yeah, if that's something you can do, I think that would be amazing if someone tried doing that. Because yeah, if you put a scoop in your mouth and be like, and then get the water, and then you also get another scoop with more water, and then you spit it in. I mean, that's a little gross, but it would give you an advantage for sure.
Jordan, could you explain to me the rules of this contest? How does the $5,000 work? Are there 3 ping pong balls in the thing?
Yeah, so I think from what I saw there, so you can just go for whichever one you want to go for. So if you want to go for HOH, you can go for that ping pong ball thing, and if you want to go for the $5,000, you can go for that, and then if you want to go for the Never Not Pass, you can go for that as well. I believe that's how this one works. Brent?
Yeah, but it's sort of stupid, though, because, I mean, like, when she was explaining it, I didn't really take a close look at it, and I thought it was like in the old days where there's like 3 different jugs, and you had to pick which one you want to go for. But there's 1 big jug, and there's 3 balls, so it seems like if 1 ball gets to the top, all 3 are going to get to the top. So, like, when Julie was saying
I don't really understand that.
Yeah, I don't really understand it either.
I think how it works is that, yeah, all 3 are going to get to the top, and then once you get there, if you don't want HOH, I guess, you can be like, oh, well, I see HOH, I see the Never Not Pass, and I see the $5,000. Well, I guess I'll just take the $5,000, yoink, and you take it. But I agree, it doesn't really make sense. I think that, because usually, yeah, you have the separate buckets, so I don't really know what's going on.
But Julie was like, somebody could win all 3 of the prizes, so couldn't you just fill the things at the top and be like, okay, I'm going to do the Never Not Pass, then I'm going to do $5,000, and now I'm going to do HOH.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, she said that. Yeah, which I laughed at the time because I thought that it was crazy that, that anybody would actually, like, be able to fill up all 3 jugs. But now that there's only 1 jug, I guess you could do that. But I have to tell you that the competition is actually relatively close. Julia is behind Becky by about like less than a half notch. So it's definitely anybody's game at this point.
So wow. Okay. So
Who would
Austin.
Julia nominate, Brent?
Who would Julia nominate? She's not happy with Shelly, I have to tell you. But I don't think that she would do it this week. I think that she would probably go after Johnny Mac because Vanessa's sort of annoyed at Johnny Mac right now. And maybe Meg, James, or Becky, or Jackie. Any one of those. But I think Johnny Mac would be the target. Vanessa had been talking about targeting Johnny Mac coming into this week. So, this fight has only exacerbated that.
Come on, Becky. You can do it.
Right? I'm praying she does.
Do it, Becky.
Praying.
Get on that
Fingers
train.
The little engine that could. Let's go to Ryan, who says, with the double eviction night coming, who should worry about being back row jury? Oh, you never want to be back row jury, just like Julie Wolfe.
or
back row
like
jury. So,
well,
or like me.
Yeah. Vanessa is the one who's clearly worried about.
You ended up back row pre-jury.
Yes.
Started back row jury.
Vanessa is the one that's worried the most about the double eviction. Rob, I wanted to tell you this. The reason she's the one who's most worried and most paranoid about the double eviction is that she's a poker player, and professional poker players by nature, they are like post-flop players. They want as much information as they can before proceeding in the hand. Amateur players are pre-flop players, where they go in, guns blazing without very little information from the cards on the board. So a double eviction is someone like Vanessa's worst nightmare. She has no time to work any of her magic. It'd be like Derek last season with the double eviction. It's the worst nightmare for someone who's playing the best game.
Okay. So we'll see what happens with the double eviction next Thursday night. Very excited for that. Also news tonight that we will have somebody coming back into the game from the jury as well. Jordan, how do you think that this is going to work out?
I guess it'll be similar to the format we've seen from Big Brother 15 and Big Brother 16, in which I guess 3 or 4 people are in the jury house, and then one of them goes into the house and throws discs, or they go into the house and do a competition like Jocasta did last year, throwing the discs, and one person randomly goes back in. I'm really not quite sure. I thought that because of the twins coming in, we weren't going to have this buyback, but it looks like we're going to have it anyway. So
right. It'll
It'll be interesting to see when it happens. But I don't know. I kind of wish it would just be permanent and everybody getting evicted at this point going forward, because we have enough people. I guess we'll have 2 double evictions. I guess that's what the plan will be.
I will say, Rob, that if they are going to do this buyback, which looks like they are, I hope they do it like they did in Big Brother 15 and not how they did it in Big Brother 16, because Big Brother 15 was hilarious because you had all 4 of those jurors come back into the house. They were there in that endurance competition for like 2 hours. They were spilling all their secrets. They were bitching up a storm, and they were saying about who to target. And it really caused a lot of reverberations throughout the house, whereas what happened in Big Brother 16, you didn't really get anything because they were there for like 2 minutes pushing discs onto a board, and then they were shuffled off. So if they do something, I hope they do it like Big Brother 15, where it causes some angst in the house so we get something out of it, and also so the evicted juror has a chance at winning head of household, which Judd did have a chance at winning head of household when he originally came back.
Now answer me this. If
Yes.
Austin and Liz are voted out in the next couple of weeks, will Austin throw the chance to return to the house to stay in the jury house with Liz, Brent?
I don't know. I think I listened to your show with Sophie last night, and I think that as it gets closer, I think that he's going to start smelling the money, because I don't see anyone going after him, really. He's got back into the good graces of most of the house. Vanessa, Shelley, and the twins, by definition, are bigger targets than him. He's actually kind of terrible at this competition that they're doing right now, which is hilarious because I thought he was going to run away with it when I tweeted it. And he hasn't won squat. So why are people going to go? He's like a Meg at this point. He can't do anything.
How dare you?
I'm serious.
He's like a Meg during the BB scandal.
I think if he is evicted, which I don't think he will be one of the first 4 jurors evicted, but if he is evicted, I think that he is in this game for the long haul. I could see him going to the final 2. I really could.
Okay. Let's take a question. This is from our from Meg on Twitter, different Meg. RHAP wants to know, is there a truth to Clay's statement that Meg showmanced every guy in the house, or did he forget that we see everything on the feeds? Okay, Brent, give me the official list of Meg showmances to date.
She flirts with people, just like a lot of people in the house flirt with people, and I think Meg is probably a bigger flirter than most.
Name names. We want to hear names. Who are the Meg showmances?
I mean, she was close to Clay, like Alex noted the first week.
Okay.
She's obviously been close to James. She had a thing with Jason, although it was like her gay husband at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. And, and Jeff was in her alliance, and I'm sure she flirted with him a little bit, so,
3.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a little bit of an exaggeration.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's like saying I had showmances with all the girls in the Big Brother Canada house, which is clearly not true.
Not true.
Not true at all.
Yeah. I thought you and Risha, though. That's what I was thinking. I thought that was going to be the Clay and Shelley of Big Brother Canada 3.
How dare you evict her, Jordan? She was gorgeous.
I did not, Brent. That was Canada. So Canada, how dare you evict Risha? Because I was going to keep her, obviously, because Ginger Ninja told me to.
Okay.
This is from Emma Schregel. Is there anyone who would be safe enough to either take the 5K or the have-not? But I don't understand.
I don't either.
Yeah.
We needed to see
maybe they have
more
to
of
go
this
back and hit
explained.
do they have to go back and hit a button? Like maybe they have to grab the ball and go back and hit a button? I don't know. I don't understand. Maybe I'm trying to see if somebody in the chat room can tell me what's going on with this comp. But no, anyway.
I feel like it would have just been way easier to just do the 3 buckets per person. And just
I don't understand why they should have done what they did before. Have one of them as immunity, and then one of them as money, and then one of them as whatever. I mean, who the heck is going to go for the never not pass when the HOH ball is staring you in the face? Give me a break, Julie.
Have you ever had slop? You don't know how bad it is.
Yeah, Brent. In fairness, I would go for the never not pass.
Right. Well,
slop is not good, my friend.
I don't see Becky's in the lead, and I don't see her going for the never not pass. I'll tell you.
No.
In fairness, I feel like have-nots has not been a big factor so far this season. Am I just being flip here, Brent?
No, it hasn't. It hasn't been a big factor, except that it's the people that have been have-nots obviously have to sleep in the have-not room, and that has caused or helped some strategy sessions. Clay and Shelley were together when they were have-nots, and Austin and the twins were together when they were have-nots this week. So it's been at least that the pairings of who is have-not has been good. I think Big Brother would do well to kind of mix it up somehow and make it, because it's funny when people from different alliances are stuck in the same room together and have to talk.
Yeah. All right, let's do 2 more questions here tonight on our Thursday night live show. From Justin, wants a live feed question. Johnny Mac told Steve today that he finally wants to win HOH and plans to nominate Liz and Meg and backdoor Vanessa. Would this be a good move for him in a hypothetical world where Johnny Mac wins HOH?
I don't think. I don't think he should put up Meg. I think he should put up Liz, and of course he doesn't want to put up Steve because that's his sort of. I don't want to say a ride or die, but they have a little bit of a final 2 deal, which I don't know how valid it is at this point. But Steve and Johnny Mac do have something going, and to my knowledge, the feeds went off. But when when Johnny Mac told Steve that he was going to go after Vanessa hard, about half hour to an hour went by, and we did not see Steve go back and instantly report that news to Vanessa. So I don't know if he's going to keep that to himself or not. I'm kind of interested to see that.
If Vanessa ended up going to the jury, Brent, do you feel that Vanessa would be one of the most bitter jurors of all time?
No, I don't. Actually, she's, poker players are good losers, honestly, and especially if she's an early juror, or even if she's a later juror. I really do think that, if you listen to Vanessa, she does get, herself worked up. She gets herself into a bunch, but she understands that ultimately this game was about probabilities, and they gave themselves the best probabilities last week to win. It didn't happen. Them's the breaks, and that's just how it is in poker, and that's how it is in Big Brother. And I do think she would vote for the best person, or at least I'm hoping she would.
Okay, let's do one more question. This is from Pat Tad, who says, now that Clay is gone, Shelley is mad. Will this make her a better game player or a worse game player? Will Shelley, now that she's had her bay ripped from her arms, Jordan, do you like the new Shelley, the angry, mad as hell Shelley?
Yeah, I think we're really going to like this Shelley. I think that potentially her emotions could get the better of her. She might get tunnel vision and just think, James, 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 James. That's all she wants to get out. But I think that if she doesn't win this HOH here, which right now it doesn't necessarily look like she's going to, although Brent said it's anyone's game at this point, I think that she's probably going to be able to regroup, get back on that horse, have a week to get back to normal, and depending on who wins this HOH, I guess. But I think that, yeah, in the long run, I think that this is better for Shelly's game because people are going to be far less threatened by her now that Clay's out of the house.
Okay. Well, we've got a lot of fun stuff still to go here. Brent, did we pass the halfway point this week on Big Brother?
Yes, they had a halfway party last night, and we've passed the halfway point in the HOH competition. They are over halfway done at this point, and Johnny Mac's looking good, and Becky's looking good. I'm trying to figure out. I'm asking the chat room who is in the lead at this point. It looks like it's still Becky. I think people are loving the fact that she's squeezing every little ounce of. Becky's crushing it. They're telling me so. Thank you guys.
Right.
I appreciate that.
We'll see what a world where Becky is running things looks like. Could be a wild runaway train of a week. Jordan, what's coming up tomorrow on Big Brother Happy Hour?
Tomorrow on the Big Brother Happy Hour, I will be speaking with Willow McDonald from Big Brother Canada 3. So we'll be talking about this past week in the Big Brother 17 house. We'll also be talking about the HOH, whoever wins this competition, what we think is going to happen in the upcoming week. And it should be a lot of fun. I love Willow. She's very entertaining, lots of fun, big super fan, so it should be a great time.
Yeah, not to talk too much out of school, but on the Big Brother Reddit, somebody made a thread where Willow was kissing Allison from Big Brother Canada 2. Will that be a topic on Big Brother Happy Hour this week?
I think it will be a topic on the Big Brother Happy Hour this week, so we might get into it, and I definitely would suggest you guys tune in to find out what the deets are behind those pictures.
Okay, you
A
definitely
scandalo, Rob.
Yeah, we'll be checking that out. And so if you want to check out Big Brother Happy Hour, it's on Fridays live, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. You can see it live on robhasawebsite.com. Or how do you get to it directly, Jordan?
Well, you can subscribe on iTunes to robhasawebsite.com/RHAPPyHour, and then we just have the reality TV RHAP-ups page on YouTube. So I'll be tweeting out the link tomorrow. If you want to follow me, I am at Jordan Parhar.
I'm trying to show you guys. Look on iTunes. There it is, right there in the TV and film section. New and noteworthy. There's Jordan Parhar, Big Brother Happy Hour. Check it out in iTunes. There you go. All right, and then follow Jordan on Twitter. He's at Jordan Parhar. Of course, Brent, great job tonight. You ready for double eviction next Thursday?
So ready for a double eviction next week. Been waiting for it all season, Rob.
Okay, so here we go. Double eviction coming up this Thursday. We'll be back with Brent as well next Thursday night. Follow Brent on Twitter. He's at OneLuckyGay on Twitter. We've got so much coming up as well. We've got the exit interview tomorrow with Clay, and we'll update what goes on overnight, where we start to get a hint of who Becky or whoever is going to put up on the block. That's going to be on Friday. I'm also going to talk Last Comic Standing coming up tomorrow with Mike Bloom, and so that's going to be a fun show as well. We also have the Evolution of Strategy Chapter 23 is dropping as well. South Pacific, about 11, 12 hours, talking about Survivor South Pacific. That's going to be coming up later on tonight if you already are subscribed to Volume 3 of the Evolution of Strategy. For more on that, go to evolutionofstrategy.com. Big shows coming up next week. Derek will be joining us to talk the Big Brother voicemails coming up on Monday. And, of course, we'll be live after each Big Brother episode next week. So much coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching us live and all of your questions. We will talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.